I constantly butt heads with my father about the business that he's been in for over 20 years. Longer than most of us have been alive, my dad has worked for a coal-fired power plant. That was at a time when I even voted for Arizona to become 50% renewable energy by 2030 by wind and solar farms. Looking back on it, I was young, a little uneducated, and had jumped on the bandwagon for this heavily promoted energy source that we were all being led to believe was somehow sustainable, green energy. Once I started listening to my dad, who I realized wasn't an enemy of the planet, I learned that SRP provides 1,766 megawatts of electricity. That's enough to power 1 million homes annually. Borderlands Wind Farm produces only 99 megawatts annually, meaning less than 25,000 homes will be provided power a year. And what parts of the environment are we sacrificing for so little power? In some instances, we're blasting mountaintops for wind farms, perpetuating deforestation and habitat loss for our wildlife. These windmills are loud and create noise pollution, further affecting wildlife. Not to mention they offer little power to residences and are still hooked up to the same grid our coal power plants provide. Solar panels are not much better at providing power to homes nationwide either. For perspective, a football-sized solar farm will provide power to about 10 homes annually, and manufacturing solar panels are not ideal for the environment. They require coal, quartzite, and rare earth mining. In fact, 98.5% of rare earth minerals and metals come from China. Do you think that fossil fuels are used to transport such materials?
While solar panels produce no emissions during their operation, the production of solar panels themselves produces large amounts of greenhouse gases. Nitrogen trifluoride and sulfur hexafluoride have been linked to the production of solar panels.
Just trying to do our part in preserving our environment for our livelihood and our wildlife's livelihood. But I can't help but to think that there might be a bigger monster lurking behind the corner. So I went to some links to figure out what this monster might look like.
Technically this isn't trespassing, right? Like I'm on the other side of the fence.
Well, I found the monster. This is Novo Biopower, the only biopower plant in Arizona, and it's located an hour and a half away from my hometown. Upon closer investigation, I found cut-down trees piled on top of each other, and pallet after pallet stacked that seemingly never ended, while simultaneously they have plastered all over their website that they're carbon neutral. How can something like this be carbon neutral? An old friend who used to work there thinks carbon neutral is physically impossible, and Novo Biopower's idea is that wood waste that would have decomposed naturally offsets the CO2 and methane they produce by burning it. I guess they're not considering the amount of fossil fuels consumed to keep the operation going. I was there for not even an hour and counted over 20 semi-trucks coming in and out of the operation. They use the phrase wood waste, a fancy word for wood that cannot be commercialized, so bark, branches, chips, and shreddings of trees. Amy Pulsifer, the retired environmental superintendent of Springerville Generating Station, agrees that we are nowhere near replacing fossil fuels with wind, solar, and biomass. I'm not saying to give up, or to even stick with coal, the devil we know, forever. I'm saying not to be so easily fooled by the verbiage of all of these so-called green energy alternatives.